pushing me away one by one. You keep burning these bridges, pushing me. So now we're gone. Let us snap like a white bar. And I know you're letting go. So now we're gone. Let us snap like a white bar. And I know you're letting go.
As far as I'm concerned, music is music. I don't look at it as rock, R&B, all that kind of stuff. I just look at it as music, you know. But I feel sorry for anybody who only listens to one form of music.
Unsigned, you're listening to the Freeza Block Show. Local, MileHighUnderground.com. Unsigned, local artists, unsigned artists. Music you may have never heard before. Music you'll want to hear again. All right here on the Freeza Block Show.
Welcome in. It is the Block Show, MileHighUnderground.com. So very happy to have everybody listening in and alongside. Today we're going to have a great show. It's going to be really cool. We have Meet the Giant in the studio. Going to be a great show again. And of course, you guys are going to start it right on up here. It is Aaron, Laws, and Michaela. They are Meet the Giant. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Say hi to everybody out there in the radio,
hi,
and
all the
internet
people.
land, and indeed. And we'll give you guys some applause too. Hi. How you guys doing?
Doing all right. How are you?
Awesome, man. It's really good. The last time I saw you guys, you were at the Skylark Lounge. It was the John Coons Memorial, and wow, you closed the place down, and it was awesome. I was set back. I was really like, wow, you guys really blew me away.
Thank you. We appreciate that. That was a super fun show in honor of John and all the bands that he loved. So of course, there was a great list of bands on the bill.
Good. Awesome stuff. Mm-hmm. And for the folks that are listening and watching for the first time, and have never heard of Meet the Giant, go ahead and explain what Meet the Giant is, who you guys are, what kind of music it is for everybody.
So we're a three-piece band, obviously, since you're looking at three of us. I don't know. How do you explain what we are? I know that's the hardest question to answer.
We're definitely a rock band. In the most general sense, I think.
Yeah.
We like to explain. Yeah, we can get pretty heavy and hard, but at the same time, I think we've got a little bit of sensibility coming from our influences of electronic music and kind of more, I wouldn't say bigger experimental, but kind of more underground rock sounds, I guess.
Yeah, I think we're kind of a blend. All of us have these sort of confluences of artists that we like in common, and then we each bring our own aspects of input to what we do.
It's hard to, kind of describe like that because, you don't want to put yourself in some kind of a box,
right.
I mean, basically it's rock and roll. It's loud. It's hard. You guys, that's how you bring it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, really super loud and really hard and wow. And for, just being a three-piece, you guys sound like you're a six-piece band, especially when you crank it on up to 11. Good stuff, man. It is Meet the Giant. It's Aaron, Laws, and Michaela. And we have them in the studio, and wow, you guys, like I said, you tore it right on up. You guys got a lot of shows coming up as well.
We do have some.
Yeah, so for those of you tuning in right now on YouTube, tomorrow we are playing the Goose Fest, the Friday night lineup. Second annual Goose Fest, and we did not do our homework properly to show a list of the bands. However, we were playing with a couple of our favorites, including Buffalo Party and Dead Orchids, among others. But there is a poster and all of the event listings on our site, as well as Goose Town's, as well as some of the other bands. So please do check that out.
And just to plug Goose Fest a little bit, it's running all weekend. It goes through Saturday and Sunday. Bunches of really good local bands. So if you didn't check it out last year, make sure you try to come this year because it's a fun time.
Absolutely. And then after that, I believe our next show is at Three Kings.
Three Kings, September 30th, which I believe is a Saturday.
And that is with Scion Idols, who we also played with at the John Coons Memorial.
Yeah, big shouts out to Scion Idols.
Yeah.
Great band.
And then
as well.
I believe also Television Generation and
Lollygags.
The Lollygags is the other one. That's
All
on that
great bands. Make sure to check them out. Where, when, and where again is that?
That is at Three Kings on September 30th.
Yeah, that's going to be a real fun show. So make sure to put that in your calendar.
Yeah, no doubt.
And what's next after that? We've got
October 8th at Streets of London.
Streets of London.
You know, one of our favorite bands, Brother Sister Hex, on that bill. And a couple of others. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Brother
great.
Sister Hex. They've been in here. They've been in here and they played a couple songs, and they of course opened up that show, the John Coons Memorial over there at the Skylark. And you guys dig that Skylark? You guys been there before? Or
that was actually the first time we'd ever played there.
Yeah,
of course we've been there as patrons, and
right?
And fans and
consumers.
I remember the first Skylark though, when it was just down the street. That was one of the first venues that somebody took to me when I first moved to Colorado. I mean, remember when it was just further up the street?
Oh, before it burned down.
And the first band that I saw there was Denver Joe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Denver Joe. He was our first.
But it's a it's a quintessential Denver place, so it's fun to play there. It was fun to play for John. And probably have great bands.
I'd love to play that again.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, Claudia did an awesome job of putting all the bands together. So shout out to her as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
This train doesn't work without like hundreds of people on
Yeah, and
board.
I think like we said about the other bands that we played that they really is becoming a collective. And we're just great, the Cyanidals, they asked us to play and we were just stoked. It was like, wow.
And what
to be part of that.
Are you guys actively going out, and booking and stuff like that, or is it, sometimes you guys are just laying back and they come and ask you? I mean, I don't know.
It's a mix. There's a lot. I think all of us came from other bands and have long histories in the Denver scene, and so there's even having that background. There's still a lot of work that you have to do in terms of just getting booking agents familiar with you and kind of rebuilding up the crowd again.
Right.
So it really is a lot of just sending off a ton of emails and seeing what comes back and kind of like shots in the dark. And so it's nice to have that return sometimes when you get other bands who are doing as much work as you're doing and kind of like, hey, will you just come jump on our bill? Yes. We will do that.
And that works just fine for you guys. That's I'm sure. I'm sure. A lot easier than actually booking, right?
Yeah.
So, well, it works both ways. If we get if we book a band directly with the venue, then a lot of times we're going out and looking for other bands to help fill the bill. So it's part of how the whole scene works together. So
awesome.
It's always nice.
That is really cool, man. Some good stuff. It is Meet the Giant. Aaron, Laws, and Michaela. Awesome stuff. Tell us a little bit how you guys got your start as Meet the Giant. Have you guys even been a band for a long time, or
We have actually.
We've been a band. We're kind of like a glacier. We have like this tiny surface above where people have been seeing us for a couple of years, and then we were together for like 5 or 6 years even before we started playing out. And so going back to our history as a band, we were all in other bands. I came from Fallout Orphan and Penelope Project and the legendary Beep Beeps. Where did you?
Colder Than Fargo. I played with Colder Than Fargo on the Denver scene for 7 years. The singer out the band introduced me to Erin, who had been playing music in England as well as over here, and just got it together.
Yeah, and I was in a variety of different bands in the 90s, and then spent most of the time right before we got together in Europe and in Europe. So, but yeah, we just all got together and it sort of clicked right away. We just loved hanging out. We were in kind of a mood where we didn't really feel like we had to go and start booking gigs. Like you said, it can be
hassle.
Yeah.
To put it mildly.
And, you know, we would just get together once a week and play and record and try to find our sound. And, you know, a few years later, we're like, hey, maybe it's time to get out of our shell. So that we've been actually playing together for like 7 years total.
Wow, that's a long time, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to say 8 years.
Yeah.
It was 2009.
And it's just been you guys, you know, pretty much consistently.
Yeah,
That's
just
not,
a few of us.
you know, 4, 3, or 5, or
No, occasionally we
No
have
horn
people
section.
guest perform with us.
One Carlos out of Altus.
Yeah, Juan Carlos Flores out of Altus, who you'll hear on a track later on. And then, you know, we've done some cross collab with like Dead Orchids. I've sung on some of their performances, and I think Danny's going to sing with us tomorrow. Yeah, so it's, you know, even though we've been kind of like the 3 core people, we've had input from other places, and I think that's something that has sort of been thematic in our production as well, and it's definitely incorporated itself in everywhere from the album into shows that we play.
nice, good stuff, man. And of course, like you said, you guys have been, you know, practicing, and I guess, you know, doing together so long that you kind of, you know, are just kind of looking at each other for cues and things like that, right? I mean, you guys kind of at that point, or have you been there for a while? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I think we have.
Yeah.
I think we understand each other's musical languages pretty clearly at this point.
Yeah.
Not to say that, you know, when we're working on a new song or something, we don't stumble over each other, but I think we're pretty synergistic at this point. And I think it shows.
Yeah.
You get that vibe from us that we're pretty together.
Things click a lot faster. I'll just put it that way than they did 8 years ago.
Well, that's good. That's good, man. And hey, you know what? We're going to go ahead and go into one of the songs here. You guys gave me a couple of titles here, and one of them is, well, I don't even know. It's Century
That's
is one of them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Tell us a little bit about the song Century and what it means to you guys, and you know, how long has it even been around, and all that.
Well, this song, I guess we'll start kind of backwards. This song was recorded by Bart McCrory.
Crashpad Studios.
Yeah.
Shout out.
And he did a fantastic job recording it and mixing it.
Throttle Bomb, right?
Yeah.
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 All right.
Mierda and
Mhm.
the other
Mhm.
Pitch Invasion and
Mhm.
the guys who did
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
So great dude though, great engineer. We had a great time recording with him. And so as far as writing this song, I honestly forget, but I think from an influence standpoint, it kind of, like you were saying before, kind of hit on some of the things that we were listening to a lot of at the time. I know we were into Queens of the Stone Age, we still are, but that to me feels like one of the sort of underpinnings of this song.
Yeah, this definitely showcases our more heavy side, for sure.
Well, all right. Without any further ado, this song is called Century. It is Meet the Giant. Aaron, Laws, and Michaela are in the studio, and here it is. MileHighUnderground.com, the Freeza Block Show. Century.
Does it wear you down? Choice that you have made. When the seeds are sown, the path is laid. In the breaking up, they'll send a strong man for you, tied up for the picking. Extension me, air across the top of your head, and it turns your soul as black as night. It's plaguing never in bed, you've rather died and confessed, but that's the thing that's gonna save your life. them all. Those voices call out for you. You didn't want it, they didn't mean it, but you need it. Stand in the air, it goes the top of your head, and it turns your soul as black as night. It's breaking every breath, you'd rather die than confess, but that's the thing that's gonna save your life. Decide what you want. Can't have.
All right, great stuff. It is Meet the Giant, Aaron Laws and Michaela, and the song you just heard is called Century. Good stuff, you guys. Wow, I like it. Real, it's powerful. It's electronic and it's melodic at the same time. Man, I really like that. Do you guys go back and forth on doing vocals, or is it just you, or is it like whoever feels it at the time, or how do you guys go about doing the vocals?
It's primarily me. In pretty much in every project that I have been a musician in, I've had a role in vocals at some point. I guess that's my primary instrument, I suppose. But we do have songs where Aaron sings quite a bit of backing vocals, and a couple songs where you sing lead. So it's it's kind of a mix.
But mostly you,
Yeah.
for the most part.
Mostly
And that's
me.
is that kind of like you want to try to do a branding type of deal, and you want to kind of have that sound.
I just think she's got the best voice.
I was gonna say, I haven't, like, it's kind of funny
Don't-
because I also have background as a designer, and like, you said branding, and it's like, how come I haven't thought of that yet? That was unintentional, but I suppose that's kind of a component of it. I think for us, we tend to think of ourselves more as a unit.
Okay.
And so we just do whatever is necessary in the composition at that point.
Yeah, it's all about the song.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of songs that I sing, but I think, artistically it comes out better if Michaela's out front and I'm singing some backgrounds, and yeah.
Well, that's good, man. I like how it sounds in the switch off. That's I've always said before. I really like how sometimes bands are good enough to diversify and switch off, and they're open minded, and it's not like, well, that's just my thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that has a lot to go about with just the enjoyment of being in the band and doing the music itself, right?
Well, I think in order for Meet the Giant to work, it's 3 equal parts.
Yeah.
All of us are involved in the song, in the project, in the lyrics, in the working together. There's no one person that dictates anything. And if a song, if Aaron feels as though, you let him do it, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Or
not like-
sometimes I strong arm him into it.
Yeah,
You
or
need to sing
you
here.
need to sing.
But I like that. And that was going to be kind of leading into my next question about how does the song construct happen? Does somebody just come with a bag of lyrics, or does somebody have a beat first, or does it just kind of sometimes go either way?
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place. We almost never have lyrics first. I think usually the song structure will come out of a jam, or it'll come out of, like, if you've got some beats you're playing with, or if one of us has a riff that we're playing with. Sometimes it comes out of these forced creative holes. We have been doing the past 3 years, the 48-hour film project. We've partnered up with Cinema Geeks to kind of do some of the score work for their project, and that's really cool because
let's talk a little bit about that. What is that, as a matter of fact, and talk about your role and then how you guys got involved in the whole deal.
Cool. So 48 Hour Film Project is an international event. It happens at different times in different places. The one in Denver happened a few weeks ago.
It was like the first weekend of August, I think.
Yeah, and so to kind of just set the premise, the idea is that you put together a creative team and you get all of these requirements dropped on you at 7 o'clock on Friday, and you have to turn in a fully produced film by 7 o'clock on Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's 4 to 7 minutes.
Yeah, short film.
Right.
Which is still a super intense process.
Yeah.
And you knew
I
Brad.
knew Brad, the director of Stabio Productions and Singing Beats, from high school. And for one reason or another, we got connected again, and he asked us to do the scores for this. And it was really fun for us, a way to stretch out creatively and do some different kinds of music. But it also, as Michaela was saying before, gave us the chance to do some of the things we did inside of that space and turn them into songs for the band. So one of the songs on the upcoming album was from the first one we did.
A little mini preview there.
No, I was trying to look up the date for when the film previewed, and I turned on something.
It's all good. It's all good. Again,
I swear I'm not trying to be rude.
No, not at all. It's Aaron Laws and Michaela, and they are Meet the Giant. And I hope folks are enjoying you guys, Meet the Giant. Where did you guys come up with that name? I like that. There's all kinds of giants out there. So,
There are.
So
What is the giant?
I think we've been 8 years later, we're still trying to figure that out. Honestly, we were testing a bunch of different names when we first got together. And of course, there was no urgency because we weren't playing anywhere. But, part of it was we had this at the time, and still do, this kind of juxtaposition of electronic bass and very kind of a little bit more aggressive rock, more analog bass. And so one of my favorite bands is Autolux, and I think they tend to do stuff like that really well. And so we were kind of toying around with that concept of having this human interaction with the technological interaction. And I think Robots in the Garden was one of the early things, and somebody else had their band named that, so we can do it.
Again, very humanistic word.
Mm-hmm.
Not that Meet the Giant really has that, but I think that kind of led us there to this idea of, there's this giant thing that, socially or artistically or whatever it is, that is hard to define. And how do we process that and digest that? And that's Meeting the Giant.
And honestly, the actual phrase "Meet the Giant" just came from, I was in a restaurant one day and overheard somebody say it in some other conversation. And I was like, oh God, that's the greatest band name ever.
Sounds cool. That's what I'm talking about. And for the Meet the Giant fans who are listening and watching for the first time, that bell, of course, you might have heard that before. If you have, you owe us one. It's for a hit or a shot, and it doesn't necessarily have to be alcohol or weed. But just a little something to get you right on through the end of the show and the rest of your day and the rest of the interview. Indeed. And, of course, it's just for the folks playing at home, so sorry about that.
Damn it.
I know Laws is very kind of he wanted to bring his own, but that's how it goes. Man.
Well, public spaces. We'll just go watch the video again and do it ourselves later.
There you go. That's exactly how it works, man. There we go.
Yes. Can we double that? Ding, ding.
Aaron, how did you kind of get started, in music when you were a kid, playing guitar or even wanting to do it at all?
I had a piano in the house, and I, took piano lessons like many kids do. But never really got along well with that, but always loved playing the piano, so I would just kind of do my own thing. And, through high school and college, I kept up with that and really took to playing jazz piano pretty early on. I did a lot of that at CU Boulder. And then, kind of got into the production side of things. I mean, I was playing in bands all the while as well, but I really kind of got into that. Did that as a job for a couple of years, and then had some career changes and took some time off. And it wasn't really until then that I started playing guitar. I mean, I had a guitar and learned how to play it, and enjoyed it, but it really wasn't, I think, until playing with you guys that, that guitar really became, my main instrument at that point. So.
Do you still dabble a little bit on the keys and all that stuff?
Yeah.
A lot, quite a bit.
He
on
is
the keys.
freaking amazing.
He's
on the
amazing
keys.
on the keys.
And well,
I'm
I'm
like, I
noisy
just
guitar.
dabbled a little bit. No.
and what about that? I mean, incorporating that into Meet the Giant, is that like happening, not happening?
Yeah.
No, it does happen some. I mean, with the electronic stuff, I guess some of that is more production oriented, but
Right.
we use synths and things like that, so the keyboard skills come in. And I've kept those skills alive. I've played in a variety of different productions using my keyboard skills, but usually it's just me on in the middle of the night somewhere.
Yeah.
Kind of goofing around, a couple
we have
beers
kind
in
of
you.
like this
Yeah.
whole other aspect, this whole other body of work that involves kind of a lot more integration of the electronic stuff. We just have been too lazy to figure out how to do the switch off in the live show properly and to balance things, because when you have a 3-piece and you put down an aggressive guitar and you pick up a keyboard, it really changes kind of the sonic impression of the space.
Well, that's why I was asking. Is that something that's kind of feasible in the sound that you guys make? But I guess it's whatever you guys want to make it. It's not.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no concrete sound that you guys are going for.
I think that we take it more towards like the electronic sound level than adding a keyboard that would be playing piano or organs or electric piano or something like that. I think we kind of shy away from that a little bit when we go in that direction, and more synthesizers and sound effects and electronic beats and things like that is how we like to start bringing that kind of stuff into music.
Yeah, good stuff. Meet the Giant is right here in the studio. It's Aaron, Laws, and Michaela. And, Meet the Giant for me, it just was like, meet the giant sound that you guys have. I mean, and it's loud and it's big, so make sure when you guys are checking it out that you do. And of course, they're going to be at Three Kings September 30th. So make sure to, bring your earplugs in. Is that an all ages show, or is it, you think? No, yeah, 21 and up. So leave the kids in the car. And
Crack the windows.
right, just a little bit so everybody can get on in there. But that's going to be a really good time at Three Kings on September 30th. Meet the Giant again. All right, man. Well, we're going to get into another song here you guys have. This one is called Drive. So let's talk a little bit about this one, and then we'll play it.
I think this one will really show you the melding that we did between electronics and the more live acoustic raucous guitars. We also brought in Juan Carlos Flores from Altus. And the song really, it started off as a very basic idea, just with the drum machine and the vocal and bass line. And then it grew and grew and grew. And we smithed it and we worked it. And that's what we did. Right.
This one we recorded ourselves, and like Laz said, Juan Carlos came and guested on it and added some amazing dimension to the song. There's actually, for somebody who wants to sleuth around a little bit, there's actually an old version of this song on the internet. And we decided for the album we wanted to kind of refresh it and include it in sort of this.
However, you really don't need to go looking for that old version. Look for the new one. It's really kick ass. Indeed.
I mean,
And we're
if
going to
you
play
want
it.
it for when we're famous and you're like, look at the old version of that.
There you go. The archives, right? The one that nobody wanted to hear in the first place.
Right.
Yeah, indeed. Well, we're going to go into it. The one that everybody's going to want to hear. This one is called Drive. It is Meet the Giant. They're right here in the studio, right here on the Freeza Block Show.
She's cried, and you just smile back. You are the one, you are the one. Without her, without her, you are the one, you are the one. Without her. You are the one. Without her, you are the one. You are the one. Without her. You are no saint, you're no star, no gift, no light. Thank God it's dark tonight. You are the one. You are the one. Without her, without her, you are the one. You are the one. Without her, oh baby, without her, you are the one. You are the one. You are the one. Without her.
Meet the Giant in the studio. Yes, indeed. It is Aaron, Laws, and Michaela. Great. Too. And thanks for being in here, man. It's
Thank
really,
you so
really
much
good
for
stuff.
inviting us. This is awesome.
Great. That was a really cool song. I like it. It was mellow and it was pretty chill. It was almost a little bit different than what I've kind of, I don't know, was kind of expecting, I suppose, you know. But you guys kind of go back and forth from, you know, rocking it real super hard and then go to the melodic kind of. I like that because, like, again, we talked about, you know, being shoeboxed in. You're not, you know, and I guess that's kind of cool. I mean, that's sort of.
It is, but it can also not work to your advantage very well, which we've found. But hey, we just keep on doing that.
Well, and I think the hardest part about that is trying to find other bands to play with on shows, or when somebody wants to pigeonhole you into a genre for promotional purposes or things like that. You know, we've had people book us on electronic bills thinking that we're all going to be electronic, or we've had people book us on hard rock bills, and sometimes the audiences aren't too receptive to one side or the other. But I think by and large, we've sort of started to find our groove where people dig the whole package all put together.
That's pretty hard, though. I mean, and you know, I mean, I'm sure you've found yourselves a few times on a bill where you're like, we don't fit in here at all.
I think everybody does.
Yeah, it
yeah,
happens. It happens.
It's pretty common.
Especially in the local scene. Tell us a little bit about what you guys think of this local scene, and you know, I mean, how you think it might blow up, or how you might think maybe it's just a little bit too oversaturated with too good a talent, or what's going on with it? What's going on with it right now?
There's a lot going on with the scene right now. It's strange. Having been in the Denver scene, I've been involved through various playing and kind of support aspects since I was, I'm not going to tell you how old I am and just call it 20 years. But to see Denver evolve and change, it has its good and its bad. The scene used to be really tiny and really small and kind of community oriented, and there wasn't, you know, a lot of impetus to be commercially viable. It was mostly just kind of about getting together and having good music, and great bands came out of that era. And then it kind of grew, and you started to see a lot more interest from other places in what was happening in Denver. And I think that kind of injects some influence in a sort of way. But really, when you get down to it, the one thing that we have here that I think is great is the community. And you can see that in, you know, how we've chosen other bands to sort of partner with us on doing shows, to be on our albums. All three, we actually recorded this album at four different studios, five. So, you know, we also had Danny Kaye from Dead Orchids. He runs a studio. I think it's, I don't remember the name of his actual studio name, but he did a couple of tracks recording. Of course, Bart McCrory from all the Bart things. Yeah, Dave Schleitweiler, who was in the Chicago scene for a little while here and associated with the Denver scene from Sunnyside Studios. We did our own recording. And then Brad Smalling at Evergroove has been an incredible partner in kind of producing and mastering and taking all of these disparate parts and putting them together. And I think that's what the scene does really well. So despite the fact that there are bigger bubbles and sometimes more separate bubbles, I think that there is possibility to still find that artistic community in that, and people willing to cooperate and who really just want to make a good product.
And that's kind of what you guys are about. You know, I mean, you know, I'm sure if somebody does come with the wheelbarrow money and the contracts, you guys will go for it, maybe. But you know, I mean, but that's not really what you guys are about. You guys are really all about the music, and that's one of the things that I like most about this scene here, is that most of the people are really just realistic about it, and they're just about the scene and the music.
Yeah, it's a very collaborative scene right now, and people are really open to that. And there's not a lot of what I've seen in other places where people get really protective of their own piece of the pie, and it's always very competitive. I don't feel like this is competitive. I feel like it's really collaborative and try to help each other out.
And Denver's got a big, like all different scenes, it's got a big metal scene, it's got a big hip hop scene.
Right.
There is a folk scene. There is jazz scene. There isn't one predominant thing that's overtaken it. The music scene is a bit like Denver itself, which is eclectic.
Yeah, yeah. Good call. Good call. It is Meet the Giant, and they are in the studio. It's Aaron, Laws, and Michaela. Laws, how did you get hooked up with these guys, and how did you get started into the drums?
Well,
and see if we can bring that mic over just a little bit more.
Okay, sorry. Let me tell you a story.
Yeah, tell us the story.
The story was that I always wanted to be a drummer, but my mum brought me a keyboard.
For real? Is that real?
No, and basically, obviously, I'm from England. I played in bands in England. Started playing drums pretty later on, actually, because my mum didn't want a loud drum kit around the house. So I didn't start playing drums until I was maybe 18 when I left home. And just played with friends in town, played all over England, played London, Manchester. Moved over to the United States in 2003. Went to a concert at the Bluebird called The Coral. Bumped into a guy there, and in 2 weeks of being in the country, I was in a band.
Wow, how about that? And just come over because you wanted to, or, you know, or...
No, I came over, my wife's a nurse. So she got offered a job over here, so I came on her coattails.
Nice. Hey,
She
that
brought
works.
her bum of a husband over.
We're glad for Kate's coattails.
Yeah, I'm glad for Kate's coattails. And then I played, like I say, I played in various bands over here, and then just hooked me up with these guys. I've literally, I don't think there's been a week where I haven't played music since the age of 18.
Well, that's fantastic, man. That's how you want it to be, right? I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I still practice every single day.
So, and that's the mark of a great drummer, man. Good stuff. That was Laws, and he is from Meet the Giant. We have Meet the Giant right here in the studio. Indeed, man. They're going to be at Three Kings on September 30th. You guys have any other shows besides that coming up, or is that pretty much?
Well, yeah.
now.
Besides, for anybody listening to the live stream, we've got Goosetown tomorrow night.
Right.
Fest.
I almost forgot about that. I should be promoting that more than the Three Kings deal.
Well, by the time you get this all produced and the actual podcast is out, it will be on the.
It'll be in the past.
Yeah, exactly.
But those that are listening live, you 3 to 5 to 10 viewers that we have out there, make sure to check out Goosetown Tavern, and Meet the Giant will be there, rocking the house, blowing the roof right off the top of the place, man. I guarantee you.
Goosetown's a fun place to play. They have that sub under the floor that makes it really exciting.
Yeah.
So you played there before.
Any other bands out there, the drummers will tell you the drums are on the sweet spot, which is the sub, and it's beautiful.
That's perfect.
It's a great stage.
But other than those, I think we've got Streets of London.
September 8th.
October
October 8th.
October 8th. That's
October.
right. And then Lions Lair for some
Halloweenish
festivities on
October the 27th.
Have you guys played a Halloween show before?
Oh,
At
yeah.
Lions, so I think all of our Halloween shows have been at Lions Lair.
Yeah.
I think it has an appropriateness to it.
I
And
agree.
I know you had to do costumes, so tell me what you wore. Tell me what you were.
Honestly, we didn't. It looked
The
great
letdown.
when we figured it out, but it was kind of this last minute sort
One
of
of the ideas,
ghosty
It was
inspired
off the
thing.
Doctor. It was off the Doctor
That's
episode.
right. Which one was that? With the people with the ghosts?
There was like that submarine thing.
The
involved,
submarine thing.
yeah.
It was the submarine episode of Doctor Who, and we all saw it, and we said,
But they had these real sunken eyes. You could see the skull kind of through their skin and stuff like that. It was pretty creepy. And so we decided to take a page from that illustrious book and just did white face with really dark eyes. And it was pretty creepy, actually.
It was kind of creepy. You get the whole stage light thing going. And
Yeah,
it was,
awesome.
It was pretty creepy.
But usually those shows are the funnest, one of the funnest ones to do.
We should probably start planning our costumes now.
Yeah, there you go.
If anybody has
guys.
any ideas
Yes,
for what we
submit
should do for
costumes.
Halloween, please put them in the comments.
Awesome. It is Meet the Giant. Aaron, Laws, and Michaela. They are in the studio. So you guys did bring some instruments, and you guys said that you would be nice and play a song for us. And hopefully it's not too late or too early. I don't know for that. And I'll give you a whole second or two or even a minute to set up as we talk a little bit about the song as you guys go ahead and do your thing, if that's all right with you.
Yeah,
Sure.
so this song, the name keeps changing. Right now it's called He, She. Yeah, and this is one that we recorded with Dave at Sunnyside Studios, and it was mixed by Brad over at Evergroove. And so the acoustic version we're about to play is really stripped down. Sorry, I'm going to turn around here.
That's what I like usually about a lot of the shows that when people put shows on here, it's everything's really super stripped down, and it's almost nothing like you would expect.
Right. Yeah. So
when you go to the show, it's like, oh no, you guys.
yeah, we're gonna have the full on live, not live, but like loud version of it posted soon for consumer consumption.
Awesome. And Aaron, if you could just maybe move towards the window just a tad, so we can get Laws in the picture there a little bit. Yep. There we go. We got you in there.
All the people.
I think that'll work. That'll work. All right, guys, go ahead and hit it. It is Meet the Giant, and this song is going to be called again He, She.
He, She.
And that's not a pending for sure.
Yeah.
Title.
That's what it's called right now. But and we'll make it concrete when the album comes out. But yeah.
All right.
to see you found your gun yet, but it doesn't mean the battle won, no. Oh, baby, just let me take it from here. Love sick, but you don't want the answers. Hands up and breaking for the corners. All out the window, you threw it away. The sun loves you, but he keeps you on your knees. I was blind and you were on the down low. Time ran, but you were moving too slow. You were high and I was floating away. The sun loves you, but he keeps you on your knees. The sun loves you, but the pieces are worn down and in the spaces time seeps through. Too little light now in the sky now, but you won't have any more chances to see this through. I'd shine, but all the lights are turned off, and you're ready for the cast off. It's time, my time to burn it away, away, to burn it all away.
Awesome. And Meet the Giant. That song was called He, She. Definitely good stuff, man. And of course, if you want to catch a real super hard version of that, come out to the Goosetown Tavern tomorrow. It'll be a great show. Goosetown Tavern. Meet the Giant will be there, rocking and blowing the roof right off the place, man. Great stuff again, you guys. Aaron, Laws, and Michaela. Good stuff, man. Awesome. Hey, Michaela, tell us a little bit about how you got started in the deal, how you wanted to be a bass player and not a guitarist, and or not a drummer, or maybe a keyboardist, or maybe you wanted to be all those things.
Actually, interestingly enough, my musical career started off on piano keys. My parents have a picture of me hanging from the keys in my diaper at about the age of 1.
Oh.
Yeah, both my parents are musicians, so I was kind of like, I had no choice in the matter.
Did you ever resent that? I mean, ever? You know what I mean? Like growing up as a teenager, I don't want to play. I don't want to practice. I don't want to do the work.
Well, no, that's, yes. Every teenager hates doing those things. I still don't want to practice. That shows. But, I think there was kind of a point of separation where I was like, but then I went away to college, and my folks gave me a guitar and a keyboard when I left, and kind of launched off and started doing my own thing and doing my own explorations. I played solo and wrote solo for a little while. Came back to Denver and partnered up with some folks to do this band called Penelope Project, at which point I was mostly a guitar player. I think for me, piano kind of transitioned from a main instrument to I use it as a writing tool. But it kind of moved on from there. Around the time that Penelope Project ended, we lost our bass player and went through a horrendous suite of auditions. At which point, my lead guitar player handed me a bass and said, "You are now a bass player."
You had that guy that says, I can play bass, but I'm getting my guitar next week. That guy, right?
You know, honestly, once I started playing bass, I never looked back.
Yeah.
I think I tend to have a different style, I guess, when it comes to bass playing, because partly of the piano training and some of the melodic confluences with singing. So, you know, I've just been super stoked on it. You know, we mess around in the studio, and so when it comes to actual production, we're all over on all the instruments.
Yeah.
And then we kind of just have our token stuff that we play live.
And that's like most of the fun, right?
Mhm.
Just, you know, kind of going back and forth, doing all that, you know, stuff, I guess.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that, for instance, you know, like when one of us goes back and starts dorking around on Laz's drum machine or whatever, it's a whole different, because it's a different person playing on that instrument, we have a whole completely different approach and delivery on the part. And so sometimes, you know, if Aaron and I will switch from guitar to bass, or jump on the keyboard, it suddenly illuminates this whole other element to a song that maybe wasn't there before. So it really helps me write.
That's cool, man. And tell us a little bit about your logo, Meet the Giant, if that comes from, and go ahead and just show the folks.
Here.
And, is this something that any one of you guys came up with, or did you guys hire an artist, or
I am also an artist and graphic designer.
Okay, so you do the, so you're going to do the new graphic design for the Freeza Block show. I'm gonna hire you right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I was just about to be like, I'm a card.
So you're the one that comes up with this, with the idea, the concept, and the stickers and all
at least,
that.
Yeah, at least visually. I mean, that like even during the process of my kind of fleshing out this identity, there was a lot of discussion among us about, you know, what we wanted to put forth, what it all meant, and there's some major kind of symbols involved in that whole thing that you could turn around. And so it's, you know, yes, it's just kind of like 3 triangles, but when you really start to take it apart, it has meaning on all kinds of levels, which would take me a whole other hour to explain. But if anybody
Yeah, we don't have that
wants
much
to know,
time.
find me in the bar. I can be bribed with tequila.
Well, all right, that's what I'm talking about. All right. It is Meet the Giant, Aaron, Laws, and Michaela. Great stuff, you guys. Make sure to check them out tomorrow. Goosetown Tavern, they will be there blowing the roof off the place. And make sure, you know, get there early. There's going to be some other shows there as well, other bands there as well. It's going to be really fun. And I don't know, I think that's an over 21 type of place. So you also have to leave your little brother and sister at home. But that's all right. That's all right. You go down there and you have a good time, catch the Uber, drink a lot of beer, and you enjoy Meet the Giant. Are you guys going to be closing it, opening up, or?
We are actually early on in the set. I don't think we're opening, but we're like second or third or something like that. So yeah, definitely get there early and stay late because it's going to be an awesome show. Is it? I thought
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
I was wrong.
Yeah, John.
It's going to be $10.
Yeah,
that's all right. You're bringing 20.
Link on our website. Save some of your money.
Oh yeah, make sure to check those guys out. Meet the Giant on Facebook and all that stuff. Give them a thumbing and a liking. It's all good, and that takes you right to their webpage. I'm sure you guys have a webpage.
Yeah. Twitter,
Yeah,
Instagram,
all of the
Spotify,
social medias.
Facebook. Yeah, it's all there.
It is awesome. That is Meet the Giant. I'm going to play this song again as we kind of talk over it. All right. Again, Meet the Giant in the studio. Thanks a lot, you guys, for coming on.
does it weigh you down? The choice that you have made when the seeds are sown, the path is laid. In the breaking up, they'll send a strong man for you. Tied up for the picking. The stench in the air, it goes the top of your head, and it turns your soul as black as night. It's plaguing every breath. You've rather died and confess, but that's the thing that's gonna save your life. Them all. Those voices call out for you. You didn't want it, they didn't mean it, but you need it. The stench in the air, it fills the top of your head, and it turns your soul as black as night. It's plaguing every breath. You'd rather die than confess, but that's the thing that's gonna save your life. Decide what you need, what you want. Can't have.
All right, this is the funnest part of the show, and of course, the part where these guys haven't even listened to what I had to say. So I need you guys to do me a quick promo, and we'll just do it on the fly here. That's funny because I usually have like a card and everything, and it's all ready for everybody. But, all right, but yeah, and if we could just use this mic, if you guys can gather together and just basically you're just saying your names, you know, and go ahead, Aaron, you could start, and you know, just
I'm Aaron.
I'm Lawrence.
Caleb.
one more time.
Aaron.
Lawrence. Okay, you do Lawrence then. I'll do the same.
No, you guys sound good there. Okay, and let's see, and one of you guys need to say, and we're Meet the Giant. No, just one of you. We do the cheesy all together thing at the very end when we say Mile High Underground.
All right, and we are Meet the Giant.
All right, one more time, like, you know, hey, we're Meet the Giant.
Hey, we're Meet the Giant.
There you go, perfect. And okay, and one of you guys say, and this is the tagline, and we're melting it down to zero.
We're melting it down to zero.
On the Freeza Block Show.
On the Freeza Block Show.
Perfect. And now here's where we go on the cheese, full cheese.
What do you mean that wasn't?
No. MileHighUnderground.com. All together, I'll count you down. 1, 2.
MileHighUnderground.com.
Awesome stuff. All right, thank you guys again. Meet the Giant. Make sure to check them out again tomorrow at Goosetown Tavern. Have a great weekend.
Hey, what's up? Holla at your boy. XOXOXO. You getting these texts? Question mark. Where are you? What are you doing? OMG, you are making me mad. You better text me back. I'm waiting outside your house.
Relentless, aggressive texting is like sending an angry robot to deliver your message. When does the robot become dangerous? Let us know at that'snotcool.com.
That'snotcool.com.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
From the Colorado Media School in Lakewood, Colorado, Mile High Underground.